It is Wednesday, September 21st, 2011, and you are tuned in to the tip of the spear when it comes to alternative media and resistance to tyranny, defense of liberty. I am Alex Jones, the host of INFOWARS Nightly News. I want to thank all of the subscribers to PRISONPLANET.tv and INFOWARSnews.com, as well as our extremely hardworking crew for the research and work they're doing. This is a team effort, and I want to thank all of you for being part of it. We are certainly developing the future of the new alternative media that is becoming the dominant media as the globalist corporate whore media recedes into history. We are also teleprompter free. We are big on research and very short on canned, package, fake, slick garbage. If you're looking for an info babe who looks like she can suck a golf ball through a garden hose, reading off a teleprompter telling you how great vaccines are or how great the Federal Reserve is, you found the wrong station. Or if you want some pompous globalist reading off a teleprompter telling you how great Obama is, you've got the wrong channel. I'm sorry. This is real news, real analysis, and real commentary, all fused together. It's INFOWARS Nightly News. Now, coming up, we've got Dr. Andrew Wakefield in studio to talk about the giant Gardisill hoax and the fact that our population, not just here but worldwide, is becoming more and more brain damaged from the vaccines. Incredible breaking news with Dr. Andrew Wakefield coming up. And as promised, we're going to have an in-depth report on vaccines, population reduction, sterilants, autoimmune diseases, packaged in vaccines. That is all coming up tonight ahead of Dr. Andrew Wakefield joining us. There couldn't be a more important issue than we're going to cover tonight. We've been preparing in the last week for the information we're going to be presenting tonight and tomorrow night when Dr. Sherry Tenpenny joins us, because all over the United States and the world, places like South Korea, Mexico, India, you name it, Gardisill, Merck, is trying to go in and twist arms and buy off the politicians to force young girls to take this vaccine linked to all sorts of neurological disorders. But don't believe me. I'm going to be going to the CDC's own documents coming up, so stay with us. But first, I want to get into some economic news. The stock market went into free fall and lost more than 280 points today on word in the announcement of Ben Bernanke that he's going ahead with QE3, a third round of monetary easing, like the Germans did in Weimar Republic, a wheelbarrow of Deutschmarks to buy a loaf of bread, or what we've seen in Zimbabwe and Africa. And they have now come out and announced they're going ahead with QE3. The stock market plunged on that news. And now the IMF is saying that unless we see big changes coming up, we're going to see a huge problem. So the IMF basically called for QE3, and their little American frontman minion, their little poodle, Bernanke, jumped at that. Of course, 2 days ago, Infowars.com called it Operation Twist, Fed ready for QE3. As usual, we called it more than 48 hours before the Fed did. The markets, of course, were all anticipating what would he say. We actually went to what the IMF and World Bank had ordered him to do a week ago and told you what was going to happen before it was announced. Now, remember, just 2 months ago, in fact, we ought to do this tomorrow night, point out that Bernanke promised there would be no QE3. And at that point, I said, there will be QE3. If they say zig, we zag. If they say up, we say down. They say left, we say right. Because even when the truth will serve them, they lie. They are of their father. And of course, that would be Lord Rothschild. Shifting gears into Big Brother news, of course, now coffee cups all over the country are emblazoned with see something, say something, Homeland Security funded paranoia, and the NFL has announced they're going to be groping all 16+ million fans as they go into the stadium. But I'm not talking about that. No, we're getting into OnStar, profits from spying. Now, I was given this information 12 years ago by a OnStar General Motors engineer. And they told me, they said, Alex, the federal government is dialing in and listening to the cell phone system that basically OnStar is based on. And then years later, it did come out that without warrants, they are tracking everyone. And we just showed you directly from OnStar, the fact sheet, the terms and conditions sheet they're sending out to members, and they're telling them, we're going to give your location and your speed and everything you do to the feds, to local police. We're going to give it to insurance companies. There's no Fourth Amendment. There's no nothing, because you've contracted with us. What do you think General Motors, now owned by the federal government, was going to do with a bug in tens of millions of automobiles? But it gets worse. They tell you in the terms and conditions. You can go read these online at General Motors' website, and it's in other cars as well. They tell you in there that even if you opt out, we're still going to listen to you. You've got to have them remove it. Now, I remember 10 years ago buying a Tahoe and telling them that I wanted it removed, and them laughing at me, saying they would never do that. Well, that's more BS. It's time to stop being so naive. It's time to wake up. It's time to get angry. It's time to realize what's happening. It was in USA Today 6 years ago that when you order a pizza from any of the big chains, they run you through a criminal database and get paid up to 25% of fines and fees when you get arrested for a warrant. Okay? Every major globalist corporation is involved in this illegal spying. And it has nothing to do with protecting us from criminals. The criminals are running the system. Here's the Register newspaper. GM OnStar cars will upload all data unless owners opt out. It's coming. Your car will rat on you to insurers. Hey, good job, Register, but get it straight. It says you've got to actually take the system out. Opting out does not work. Okay, read the fine print. Get that straight. Here is another one. OnStar's new Orwellian terms and conditions. What do you think Facebook says? It's a government front. So's Google. They call their users dumb effers. New OnStar privacy policy expands on data sharing. Oh, nice little word. Data sharing for spying on everybody. Totally disgusting. OnStar begins spying on customers' GPS location for profit. And, of course, here are the terms and conditions. You're out there watching. Don't live in denial. Go read the terms and conditions, okay? It's always been set up for that. Google 5 years ago put out a press release and admitted that they're using the cameras and microphones on board if you have a Google dashboard, and they're watching you inside your house. Just like Philadelphia schools said they're watching kids in the showers at home. Okay? We're not in Kansas anymore. We're in the New World Order. Get angry. Get upset. Okay, I'm sorry. I shouldn't get upset. The government loves us. And then here's some whitewash article. Report, OnStar allegedly spying on customers can sell customers' GPS location to third parties. It's in the stinking privacy statement. Tired of it, man. I'm tired of the denial. Wait a minute, you're getting upset. We're not supposed to get upset. We're supposed to just go over to the edge of the New World Order. Okay, before I get into the whole Gardisill situation and the history of vaccines and why cancer doubles and triples, and 50 years ago, no kids ever had cancer, and it was incredibly rare. Now it's everywhere. Before I get into all that, I want to get into this report here. This report right here, a nice boil down from the American Dream blog with links to the World Health Organization and other mainline systems. Billions spent on a cure for cancer, yet cancer rates continue to explode. Continue to explode. And you go through these numbers. Oh, in the U.S., we did have 640,000 back in the 1980s a year of breast cancer. Now we have 1.6 million. That's almost a tripling. And it goes through the fact that there's been a doubling in worldwide cancers in the last decade, just like diabetes, and the most common type of diabetes. This is from the World Health Organization. We got 12.7 million cases in 2008, and the UN is estimating that that's going to double. And again, we have that report up at INFOWARS.com. It's going to double again. Billions spent on a cure for cancer, and yet cancer rates continue to explode. This is a detailed report. You need to go read it at INFOWARS.com if you want to get the full details. Now I want to look at the biggest rollout of propaganda and authoritarian action we've seen in a long time from Big Pharma dealing with Gardisill. And I will not apologize for getting angry about this. We're being lied to. We're being propagandized. We're being sold a hoax, a lie. And I'm going to get to that information in a moment. But first, I want to roll some video for viewers of even mainstream government documents, mainstream news, video clips, you name it, of the history of secret testing on the American people, on the European population, and on Brits and others. Our own government, going back into the 1920s and 30s under a program called eugenics, has been testing chemicals and biologicals on the population. 30-plus states by 1933 were forcibly sterilizing people who were making bad grades in school. Hitler adopted this system, and their Nuremberg defense was that they got it from the United States. You know about Tuskegee and injecting black men with syphilis. You know about Porton Down, testing chemical and biological weapons on their own troops and killing them in England. The same thing has been done in the United States. 4,000 plus, this is all public, foster children in the U.S. were radiated to death in the 1940s and 50s. They took foster children and radiated them to death. They put children in literal bakers and killed them on the spot with high-powered radiation, but those were the lucky ones. Others went through more. They were given lower amounts to watch their teeth fall out, their intestines liquefy, their blood running out of their eyes. Go read the congressional testimony of this. Why did